guys, welcome to my tarot channel. Please check for timestamps below so you can hop directly to a tarot reading for Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Hello Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot love reading. We're going to talk all about your person, the person on your mind, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, their goals, and possible actions towards you. If you don't currently have a person, this message may serve you in the future. Do trust your own intuition, only take away what is meant for you. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is obviously optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. Let's set the intention to help Gemini get some messages of clarity during this Mercury retrograde about the person they're having feelings for, the person they're thinking about. All right, let's do it for Gemini. How's their person coming through tarot? Ooh, a little bit defensive of their heart. They're protecting their heart. They're protecting their family. They may be protecting their money, which is not always a bad thing, right? Maybe that's saying they can't go out with you as much because they just don't have the money to spring for it every time. So they might, yeah, they're being protective of something. Their assets, whatever that is. They may also have body issues too. I'm getting that a tiny bit as well. Okay, what are they feeling? This card came out a bunch. All right, what are they feeling? I think they think you're so good and that they don't match up or meet up, or I don't know if they are worried they're not going to meet your expectations. I almost see that they put you on a pedestal and think you're so worthy and so good and so kind and like such a good person that when they look at themselves, they're kind of like, ugh, like, why am I not like that? And I'm not sure they're actively, what is a good word, conscious of this, but in some ways they don't think they deserve you. What are they thinking? They're in their feelings for sure. They have the Moon card. I think they're worried about the future. I think they're worried about their timeline. I think they're feeling insecure. And I think they're worried they're going to lose you. And ironically, they seem to be the one putting up the barrier at the same time, too. This person definitely needs to do some inner child work, and they're not totally recognizing that yet. They will. What are they thinking or communicating? Not my greatest communication card. So when they think of you, they smile, but then they start spiraling, and then they go into this lack of self-worth stuff. I do think they need to work on their money and their stability in any sense of the word, whether that's job, house, finances, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but like mental stability, or maybe that's not the best word, but mental health, right? I have one more card on that, please. Eight of Pentacles is the Sun. So yeah, working on their ability to express themselves. I do feel like there's something they want to say to you, but they're not ready to do that yet. Yeah, Hangman. Not a lot of communication going on. Maybe a little bit of depression. They have good days and bad days, though, like everybody. But in terms of this relationship, Gemini, I'm going to help you through this, though. I'm not going to leave you with all these lackluster messages. We're going to get to the crux of this. What is their goals, please? What is their goals? Yeah, so I'm not terribly surprised to see this. I think they're retreating from this for the time being. I think they're kind of starting to wander down a new spiritual path where they are looking at self-sabotaging ways, right? Seven of Swords. Where their actions don't align with their intentions, or their thoughts don't align with their actions, where their feelings don't align with how they are expressing themselves. There's definitely like some back and forth. Seven of Swords is Moon in Aquarius, and I feel like the instinct to detach is very natural there. The instinct to close up and not express is very natural. I'm not necessarily saying they have that placement. When that card comes up, that kind of fits with the Hermit, right? The Hermit is not a super social card. It's usually a card of solitude and independence and kind of venturing down a new spiritual path. But it's very hopeful. It's very optimistic. It's like they're starting to see the light, and ultimately it leads to the Wheel of Fortune. So, the idea that they're wanting to initiate and participate in major changes in their life for the better, right? Wheel of Fortune. But they're not quite there yet. Yeah, I think they're doing some soul searching for sure. And then with the Seven of Cups, they're kind of understanding their own feelings, their own capacity to feel, and and what it feels like to be in love or to crush on someone or to like someone but not necessarily feel romantic around them. I think there's kind of that stuff going on. There's assessment of emotions. Venus and Scorpio can be getting into obsessive relationships, but sometimes, not always, but sometimes for the wrong reasons. The fear of being alone. I am kind of getting a fear of intimacy here too, like a tiny bit. Like rather than being alone or having to, I don't know, it's like codependency type stuff I'm getting a little bit. And I think this person is starting to realize that maybe they're repeating that pattern with you. And here's why though, Gemini, I think that you're a game changer in that you kind of set better boundaries with the kind of that king, queen, sword energy, right? And so because you're so good and they see you in such this like idealized light, whether that's true or not, that's their perception. They're starting to realize that they don't want to do to you what they've done to other people, which is like kind of, I don't know if it's play or hit it and quit it. I think it's so much deeper than that. But the fear of abandonment versus fear of, what is the word? I'm like grasping at it. Commitment. Right? It's like fear of abandonment versus fear of commitment. Both are very strong in this person. And so do you see how there's like a really interesting push-pull there? So like their actions aren't always truthful in speaking about how they're feeling on the inside. That can be very Moon and Aquarius too. Sometimes how they feel, they're the last person to know, right? So interesting. Potential action towards you. So I feel for you because this does seem very confusing, especially during a Mercury retrograde. I'm seeing you baffled, like scratching your head, like what is going on? A lot is going on underneath the surface that you're not necessarily privy to. Are they going to take action towards Gemini? The Empress. I don't dislike that card. In fact, I think Pisces had the card in that outcome too. So here's the thing. The Empress is a sign of growth. She's frequently shown pregnant. For like literally one or two of you, there may have been like a pregnancy scare or something about the realization of that may have really made like kind of spooked this person and kind of they've started to ask themselves the deeper questions about the long term with you. Again, that's not for everybody. For most of you, the outcome as the Empress is like they have a lot of self-growth to work on. And I don't necessarily mean literally pregnant, but the idea of something growing inside you. I think something, especially with this Sun card too, like the Sun energy, it's like in Virgo, it's like we have to do the work on ourselves. We have to identify with our thoughts, with our feelings, and not to say that they're always true, but we need to sort of, I'm going to say this, we need to sort of passively experience them and at least question them a little bit before we act on them or before we disregard them. Or do you know what I mean? I feel like this person is very out of touch with their body. Maybe that's what I was picking up on here. If it's not like body issues or intimacy issues, it's like they're very out of touch with their body. Like when their body is sending them signs and signals that something's wrong, they tend to dismiss it or disregard it or completely override it. And maybe that's why there is a fair amount of Virgo energy coming through here, which can rule the stomach and, the internal systems. And, Virgo is it's a sign very much associated with our health, our daily routine, our daily regimen, that type of thing. So I think there's going to be a shifting in that and paying more attention to self-care in many senses of the word. I think right now their action is working on themselves. It's a very happy card though. Like this is by far the happiest card I have. And I mean, I guess I can read into it a couple of different ways. It is a Taurian card. It's a Venus card. So there is love there. There is feelings and there is affection. Taurus rules the throat, right? So potentially the idea of using their voice, vocalizing the feelings behind it. They just don't seem to be in a place though where I think they need to start viewing themselves as having value. Because they do, obviously everybody comes with baggage. Everybody has their flaws. It doesn't mean this person doesn't have great qualities. But so I think they need to lean into what they like about themselves and work on the stuff that they don't. Very Taurian and Virgo, earth energy, roll up the sleeves and do the work. But I think it's do the self work. Because they need to start seeing themselves in the light that they see you, rather than putting you on a pedestal, which I know feels good, right? But again, if there isn't like the authentic desire to be in that relationship with you, it doesn't matter how much they kiss your ass or tell you how good you are, right? Like they have to believe that they're just as good and that they deserve it too. Like there needs to be balance and equilibrium here in all aspects of the relationship. In terms of action, it's the slowest moving energy. I can say that. Taurian energy, right? It's fixed earth, so it's like it's really hard to break it. It's really hard to crack it. But maybe that's good in that it's really hard for this person. Well, I don't want to say it that way, but they might be very committed to making this work, even though maybe you're not necessarily understanding the game plan behind it. And to be honest, I'm not sure they totally do either, but I think there's a curiosity or an interest to see if they could make it work. But I do kind of see them detaching a little bit. They're a little bit barricaded, they're a little bit blocked, they're a little bit defensive. Same with hermit mode. It's like they kind of feel like they need to keep on keeping on down their own path before they start engaging with you in a more committed or a more formal way. Yeah, Five of Wands. It can be some internal conflict. It can also just be a busy, chaotic energy. I'm recording this on a day where Mars is conjunct Mercury in Sagittarius. That's a lot of people talking. That's a lot of volume. That's a lot of drama. That's a lot of playfulness. That's a lot of giddiness. That's a lot of confusion. That's a lot of sexual energy. That's a lot, like, it's just a lot. And I sort of feel like this idea of sort of like the volcano, like the inner simmerings or the inner workings where like something's going to come up, but there's a fiery, feisty energy to this for sure. But it is a Saturn card, right? So, I mean, I don't want to glamorize it and gloss it that, it's not just like, passionate sex or whatever. Like there's some challenges and some struggles. Again, with authentic self-expression, right? It is a Leo card. And that's sort of what I'm getting from this too. It's like the sun in Virgo, but the sun is Leo's ruler. Honoring who they are and utilizing their authentic self-expression, I kind of think they're still figuring out who they are. So it's going to be really hard to be authentic and real when they're not. It's like they have to do a little bit of soul searching to figure out who that is. I do think I don't know why I keep getting this, for a select few of you though, something here involves a child. Gemini, if you are a single parent connecting with this person, you may be pulling back as well because you're not certain that this person has the best intentions in terms of being in a long-term relationship and like a reliable quote unquote parent or substitute parent for the child. Again, there may have been something regarding like pregnancy or pregnancy scare. There could have been a discussion of having a family and maybe this person completely withdrew and you were like, oh, that was surprising. I don't know. For some of you, something about children may be significant here. Let's put some cards on this. Actually, where's Gemini in all this? Because this doesn't seem like all sunshine and rainbows. The communication isn't great. The feelings are kind of heavy. The goals I like, but it's not goals in terms of I'm going to come to Gemini a changed person. It's like, oh, I got to work on myself. That kind of feels like what the message is. Where's Gemini in terms of this? You're curious. I think you have like butterflies in your tummy for them. I think you're crushing on them. I think you wanted to go down this path further and explore, but there's something, I'm going to say this, Gemini, I mean this in only the best, kindest way. There's also something a little bit immature about you may be putting a lot of stock in this, but deep down you kind of know like there's trouble in paradise. So be very realistic about expectations for this person. They don't have a lot to give right now, but also don't lower the bar to make this person fit in your life. Like ultimately, I think most of you have a pretty good idea of what you want. So like, you know what I mean? Don't dim your light to let this person shine brighter, however you want to say it. I don't know. This person might need some space. What is Gemini feeling? Something about control issues. I don't know. You may have feelings for an Aries. This may involve an Aries, but you may also have feelings for an Aries. This person may be significantly older than you as well. Why are they feeling? I think there's a strong sexual attraction too with that Mars energy there. But yeah, it's not being met. Like the I don't know if the body chemistry isn't there or there's a sense of, like unfulfilling sex or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but it's being barricaded, control issues. And also, I don't know why I'm getting this, but metaphorically, this almost feels like the Eight of Swords, which is a Gemini card. It almost feels a little bit like a mental prison, but it's like a bear with me, I know this sounds ridiculous, but it's like passion prison. It's like you felt something once and now your heart is like longing for that, but that doesn't mean it's a good fit for you. It feels like the mental prison, only there's absolutely like sexual desire involved. It's like your your sex drive is really speaking for you, and in some ways kind of controlling your actions a little bit. There's a lot of fire and that kind of energy here, but it's like the universe maybe be like, keep it in your pants. What are you thinking? You kind of think you might need to get emotionally detached from this, or you're worried that your person is. And I think your perception is accurate. In terms of your goals, the High Priestess, I think you need to honor and respect yourself and your body. I think you need to trust your intuition and what the universe is relaying to you in messages. I think you know the truth. And I think whoever or whatever you choose to be in or with, you need to make sure that this person adds balance and stability and peace to your life versus the opposite. If they're shaking things up and getting you all hot and bothered in many senses of the word, that might not be kind of like the peace and calming effect that you really deserve in a relationship. You do have mother-father stuff going on here as well, too, like child, mother, father. So again, maybe that talks about you and your relationship with your parents. Maybe there is kind of like the suspicion of pregnancy or something here. I don't know. When the intuition card, when the High Priestess comes up, it 100% always says, you already know the answer. You already know the answer, 100%. You may yourself wanting or desiring going down a more spiritual path, a more spiritual route, connecting with people who are a little bit more grounded in faith and spirituality. Also writing, reading, literature. I don't know why I'm getting that, but in terms of goals, and maybe that has nothing to do with the relationship. Maybe you're just wanting to go back to school or something like that. Yeah, balance. There needs to be reciprocity in this relationship and an equal give and take. And it seems like you're giving a lot and getting breadcrumbed or getting very little back. Action towards them. Sleep on it. And honestly, this feels like disconnecting. Yeah, there's definitely like an obsession. There's like a sexual dynamic going on here. Control issues. And I'm not exactly sure how that factors into this, but maybe you'll know. Maybe this person is very controlling. Maybe this person is very jealous. Like even though they're not giving you clear signs that they want to be in this, it's almost like when you go and talk to someone else, they're like, why were you flirting with that person? Like maybe the control issues are on their part, and you're kind of sensing that like, ooh, this person is blocking me in, this person is barricading me in so that I don't have this freedom of expression. That's really important for Gemini, right? It's like I don't have a voice in this relationship. I don't know. I'm going to be completely real with you, and you are at the steering wheel of your own life. You ultimately, again, I always say you're responsible and accountable for your actions. I think you guys are still going to hook up. That's what I absolutely see here. And then for some of you, what's going to be the tipping point is like that unexpected news of, oh shit, like I'm pregnant or something like that. Maybe it's not that, but I like the outcome or the action for both of you does have a lot of sexual energy, and like, this can be like, bedroom energy, so to say. I think careful your obsessions about this person, and like, you can do the friends with benefits thing. There's nothing wrong with that, but this person has so much more going on that the release they're getting from that is not the same release that you're getting from it. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to be gentle, but Gemini, this doesn't seem like a great connection. I'm a little ugh about it, but is there anything we can tell Gemini? Anything that would help them, something they need to hear? Gemini needs to hear. The romance angels are not speaking. They're like, this is don't you use the romance angels deck. For Gemini, anything that could help them, confirmations they need to hear or see for their person they're thinking about. Okay. Girl with a snake. Charmed or use enabled and boundaries. Constriction. I always get like the boa constrictor in that. It feels very like controlling. I don't know. And then, oh, look at that, the snake. Competition and energy. The other woman. Yeah, High Priestess and Empress. Occasionally that combination can mean, I'm just saying. And maybe you already know, right? Maybe this person is already in a marriage or a connection. I don't know. The other woman, and then looking over your shoulder. Gemini, I don't think I have to say more. However, I am going to end it with a Goddess Oracle card because that part is for you. The energy available to you that you can tap into, something that's going to help you through this. For the Geminis. Persephone, inexperience. All right. I actually love this card. I think it's really pretty, but I know Persephone has a rough go at it, doesn't it? She's being controlled by Pluto, I think. Isn't that the... We're going to find out. So we have 47, 42. Okay. The goddess Persephone was forced to pay a high price as restitution for what she thought were innocent actions. Today she is a wiser goddess and is encouraging you to stop what you are doing and pay attention to the red flags. Don't take a bite of the forbidden fruit unless you are willing to pay the price. The alignment task offered to you by Persephone is simple. If you feel unsure in any way about what is being offered to you, step back and ask, do I have enough knowledge and strength to explore this without the attachment to what lies ahead? If the answer is yes, jump in. If the answer is no, consider the wisdom of waiting. For this or something better now manifests for you in divine timing. Don't fall for seduction. It won't be worth the price. That completely encapsulates what I think was going on here. So I'm hoping this speaks to some of you. Let's see. For Gemini. Yeah, okay. For the Geminis who are willing to disconnect from this and maybe take the higher route, or the higher road, however you want to say it, what might be coming in the future? Something healthier? Can I give Gemini a preview of something that might be coming in that would be healthier? Let's see, 9 of Cups, your wish fulfillment. Yeah, this is like a blip on the radar, guys. And I know it doesn't feel like that. There's definitely like an obsession that I'm sensing, but like your wish fulfillment is coming in. So this may be a test from the universe. If you know something isn't right here and your intuition is screaming at you, like why participate anymore? Take that intuitive message as something from the divine saying, are you sure? Because I got something better for you. Like show up to your life in the best way and be like, I deserve better. That 100%. There may be a Capricorn in your future. 10 of Wands. Yeah, put down what doesn't excite you. Put down what doesn't light your fire. Release things that are burdensome, that are heavy, things that are controlling you. Essentially, there's an easier way to do it by simply detaching. And then the Moon. Okay, yeah. Again, trusting your intuition. Things are foggy and confusing right now. So put yourselves in situations where you can detach from all that chaos and all that energy, and really get in tune with your spirituality, with your body. You know, sit by water, soak in the bathtub, whatever it is. So you kind of allow that your body to like unfold and be able to receive messages, because the universe is guiding you here, but it feels like you're abandoning it. I don't know. There could be something with a Pisces here as well. Possibly Sagittarius. Anyway, just putting it out there. The Moon says it's a great time for you to be creative too. Creativity. All right, so signs coming out in this reading. Scorpio, Virgo, Taurus, and Scorpio again. Double Scorpio energy. And you also have Aquarius. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. I'm sending you the best, Gemini. I know this was a heavy one, but I will see you soon for more tarot readings. Bye. All right. Hello, lovely Virgo people, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot love reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. We're going to talk about your person, the person on your mind, their feelings, what they're thinking, what their goals are, and their actions towards you, if any. If you don't currently have a person, this may not be your message, but it may serve you in the future. So feel free to check back on this video later, if and when you feel so inclined. For the rest of you, please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to maybe learn something, better yourself, get some clarity on your person. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is, of course, optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. Set the intention to get Virgo some clear, helpful, insightful messages about their person. Hope you guys are surviving this Mercury retrograde. We're getting through it. All right. Nice. All right. Let's see. So bottom of the deck is the 6 of Cups. All right. So this to me is nostalgia. This is a Sun in Scorpio. So thinking about the past and having sort of a warmth, a good kind of cozy feeling coming back when you think of someone. I almost get this as someone, I'm not sure which way the message goes, but it's someone who remembers how kind you were to them when they didn't necessarily feel steady on their feet. Or it could go vice versa. It could be that someone from your past really showed up for you and was a really good, strong, solid support system. And, you know, looking back, maybe you're like, wow, like they were a good one. I have a feeling this has to do with this person. Six of Cups frequently says someone's coming back from the past. I really like this Six of Cups, though. It doesn't have this sort of karmic on again, off again. It's very sweet. It's very, very sweet. It's like a mother and child. Sometimes it's the idea of offering a cup of love to our inner child, the idea of how our emotions, our heart, our feelings have progressed through the years. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. So how is your person showing up? Well, they're showing up as the High Priestess. This card always looks very Taurian to me, though, so you might be dealing with a Taurus or a Cancer for that matter. Doesn't have to be, though. As the High Priestess, it's someone who is very spiritual, somebody who is very open to sort of cosmic vibrations. They're in tune, they're in touch with sort of the feeling element, the feeling capacity, very nurturing energy. I feel like someone either had a dream about you, or when they're in meditation, it's like all of a sudden they find you coming into their brain out of the clear blue, Virgo. So I get the sense that you guys aren't necessarily together currently. For now. And then interestingly enough, you have the Hierophant coming through here, which is kind of the divine counterpart of the Empress. So there's already kind of a cosmic pairing going on here. And in terms of what they're feeling, what's going on in their heart space, their emotions, desiring some sort of commitment. And I don't know how to describe this, but I'm hearing like draw you in, like wanting to draw you in. It's funny, I said this to one other sign and I don't remember which one. It may have actually been Taurus, but almost like kind of a manifesting of love energy, but using tools and tricks and maybe magic. I don't get anything bad like black magic, but I do get sort of this, I don't know how else to say it. I do sort of get this idea of someone trying to lure you in, or I think that sounds too sinister though. It's like magnetize. It's like they're probably doing lots of rose quartz and stuff like that. Maybe they're lighting a candle or they're doing some sort of moon ritual in order to bring love into their life. And the thing is, it's coming. They're receiving it in other areas of life, but there's a very good chance that maybe it's this reading for some of you, but others of you, I think you're going to feel a sign like that you're psychically connected to this person, or maybe they will reach out and message you. We'll talk about that. But yeah, it's like, I think they're trying to bring you back into their life slowly. I think they're trying to earn your trust or show you that they're in a better place now, because I'm getting the impression that maybe they weren't. For some of you, I'm sort of getting the idea of like sobriety or what do you call it, like AA or maybe it wasn't drugs per se, but some sort of issue where they had to have it treated or taken care of. Maybe it was illness, right? And maybe they weren't able to love or be in a relationship at the time you guys met. This feels more to me like something that was always a friendship or like a coworker who had feelings for you but never really came forward, especially with this Hierophant card. I also think this person has recently attended some sort of wedding or celebration of love, anniversary, maybe this will make sense around Valentine's Day, whatever it is. They're seeing people around them partnered up and there's a longing for it, but I actually think they're in a much better space to go out and manifest that. So it kind of makes sense that it's like they're sort of starting to make space energetically in their life for the next relationship, and I think that's being mirrored back to them by the universe. You have a lot of major arcana. Again, Cancer, Taurus, and then we have Leo showing up here. You have some Aries, well, really fire sign energy coming through here. But in terms of what are they communicating? So I don't think they're communicating this. I think, oh, interesting. My computer went to ding. I don't think they're communicating this yet. I think the idea of reaching out to you fills them with joy. They're like tickled pink about it. This is like one of the happiest cards in tarot, especially this depiction of it. If maybe you have strong Leo in your chart, Virgo, maybe you're a cusper, double confirmation on that. But I feel like they are envisioning, right, the mind, envisioning what a future with you would look like, what it would be like to date you, to stand beside you, to walk into a room next to you. I think it lifts their spirits up. Again, I keep wanting to say like you showed them mercy, or you were the kind soul that they so desperately needed when everybody else turned their back on them, or at least it felt that way. I don't know if that's a whole truth, but when they were really down and out or struggling, it's like it was no problem. You showed up and did the thing. And what's interesting is like from this, I'm just getting like you didn't think anything of it. Like you didn't bat an eyelash. You were just, you were there to serve your friend or support your coworker, and that was that. And it was, the next day. To them, it meant the world though, and it initiated some sort of major change in their life, or happened at the time of a major change in their life. But yeah, this feels like Julie Andrews singing on the top of a damn mountain. It feels very like the hills are alive with the sound of music. Maybe that's specific for some of you, but I think they're envisioning how great it could be. But it's like they're not quite ready to communicate this yet. But it's like, oh, it feels so sweet and cute. There's like butterflies in the tummy. I love it. Their image or their vision of you is Queen of Queens or King of Kings, however you want to say it. I think they adore you. I think they put you up on a pedestal and they think you're just God's gift to the world. You're like, yeah, I know. Just kidding. So then their goals, what essentially are they working towards in the near future? They have 3 of Wands. So 3 of Wands is typically waiting for your ships to come in, but in this depiction, I don't know, this is a very active 3 of Wands. This is someone who isn't waiting anymore. It's like they're making the moves. They're going after what they want. They're not waiting around for signs and signals because they already feel that they're feeling inspired, essentially, right? It's an Aries card. It's a sun in Aries. So to me, it's like identifying what action needs to be taken in order to manifest this and bring this into reality. For some of them, there may be a long distance trip or a long distance travel opportunity, and maybe they're needing to take care of that first before they come in and communicate with you. It feels like they have a duty or an obligation that involves travel. Possibly education, but I'm getting more travel. Like they have to go help their parents move, or they have to go. For some of them, it could even be like a spiritual retreat. They have such like spiritual cards. I know that won't be for everyone, but or I don't know, it's just some hiking adventure with buddies or friends or something like that. It almost seems like when they immerse themselves in energy that is very kind of earthy and organic and, I don't know, fill in the blank. Almost like a spiritual experience, even if that is hiking a mountain or swimming in a river or whatever it is. When they go and do that sort of spiritual journey or expedition, it's almost like they get confirmation from the universe where it's like, okay, it's a good time, like talk to Virgo. Like something about that message hasn't fully been relayed to them from the universe that like, okay, seize the moment, go now. What I do like here is essentially what is their action towards you, if any. They have the King of Wands, which that's a very strong action card to me, right? It's controlled action though. It's not scattershot like the Knight of Wands. It's not just mild flirtation with no delivery the way the Page of Wands is. And don't get me wrong, I like those other cards in certain aspects, but like this is kind of the highest action card you can get, right? All the kings in this deck are female. It's the Triple Goddess Tarot. So love this. I think they are going to take action towards you. And I think they're going to stand out amongst the rest. I think you're going to be a little bit blown away. I think you're going to be a little bit awestruck, but also not in a way that comes totally as a shock to you. Because you're hearing it in this tarot reading, but intuitively, I'm just struggling with this message because at the time, I don't think you ever put 2 and 2 together that this person might be interested in you because they never showed that. They very much kept their cards close to their chest. But I think you guys were always amicable, you got along or whatever. But then I'm going to say win, because I do get a strong vibe that this person is coming to essentially 3 of Wands to the soulmate card, right? 3 of Wands to the 4 of Wands. Like, hey, let's build something. Let's grow something. Let's move in together. Let's connect. Let's date. Let's whatever. 4 of Wands is like a milestone in a relationship. And for you guys, it might just be starting off as more than friends, right? Maybe more passion is involved with this Queen of Wands. I do think the Queen of Wands is indicating that your person is going to come forward. Maybe you're dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, possible. I completely lost my train of thought, but more or less that's what it is. Oh, right. I think you guys are amicable, but I think when this person comes up and like says the thing, I think it's going to make you blush. I think you're going to be very flattered. I think you're I think it's going to warm your heart as well. And then I think you're going to think back and be like, okay, this kind of checks out. Like, this kind of makes sense. Like, I think you're starting to look back, 6 of Cups, on like kind gestures that they did to you or for you. Like they showed up with your favorite coffee one morning unexpected. And again, I was like, oh, that was so nice of you. Thanks. But didn't think anything of it. Now you're starting to look back and connect the dots like, oh, they were kind of into me. And I don't mean this in an offensive way, I was like, oh, I was just too dumb to notice. Like, I was so in my job, I didn't see the forest from the trees. This feels cool. I also like Sun and Scorpio energy because this is the transformation of a relationship. Currently, as I'm recording this, Venus is in Scorpio, which is seeing a lot of major transformations in relationships, whether that's endings, beginnings, reinventions, however you want to say it. And also Mercury retrograde too, which sometimes can bring people back from the past. Again, for most of you, I don't know if you ever dated here, maybe pieces and parts of this fit for you, but let's just go ahead and get some good zodiac signs on it. For Virgo, what zodiac signs are involved in this reading, if any? So you have Cancer, you have Virgo, Gemini, and you have Aquarius. Interesting. So kind of the gamut. So let's see here. Anything else? What else for confirmations? What else would help Virgo to hear in this reading? This feels very happy. The Hierophant is a card of commitment. So they're feeling like they're wanting a commitment with you. But I also feel like they know that the timing needs to be right. They're not looking to come in and rush anything. I don't know why I keep getting this, but there is healing or recovery. I think they were stuck in a lifestyle or a cycle that was a little bit unhealthy for them. It was a little bit toxic or made poor choices, and they were starting to kind of curb that behavior and do better and deliver. Let's see, picture, looking at pictures, missing you, nostalgia, make new memories. I'm literally seeing a picture of office coworkers. And again, that's not going to apply to everybody, but it's on their refrigerator. And it's probably in your apartment, your house, your whatever too. It's like an old photograph of a bunch of coworkers. Interesting. And then heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad, feeling lost, grieving, despair, and breakup. Interesting. And maybe that's how they're feeling without you. I don't know. And maybe for some of you this was an ex, but I don't know. I just don't get that. So, if it's your story, take it and run with it. But shattered glass. For some reason, I'm wanting to say that song, but I don't know what that song is. Something about shattered glass. I personally don't know what song, but I'm being told to relay that. So some of you are going to be like, oh shit. I don't know. That's going to be a confirmation for some of you. And then soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Virgo. Oh, cute. Anything else that Virgo might need to hear about this? Let's see. Getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And children. Your love life is being affected by children. And do keep that in mind that this can be inner child stuff too. This person is very likely doing some soul work, some healing, and that frequently does involve the inner child energy. All right. Opportunity. There's no use in looking for luck. It arrives at unexpected times. So yeah, even if you don't know who this is, the fact that it's coming out in the cards, I always say that means the energy is available to you. So be open-minded, right? If this sounds good, if this is something you're interested in, then don't close yourself off energetically by being like, oh, that's not my story. I don't get it. Okay, just take it for what it is and be like, all right, I'm open to that. If that's what the universe wants to present me with, I'm here for it. All right, so Goddess Oracle card for Virgo. Goddess Oracle card. What wants to come through for Virgo? Let's see. Oh, you got two. Sorry, we're not going to do two. We have Nike, Ambition, and we have Shakti, Transformation. Well, we mentioned transformation earlier, so I'm going to go with that one. Nike always instantly makes me think of the sneakers, which I know is silly because obviously it's a reference to this. However, that is a specific storyline for one of you. Something about a sneaker or a shoe or something. I don't know. It has to do with this person. It's something very specific about their shoes, or they bought you shoes, or you went shoe shopping, or they always wore funny sneakers to work, or I don't know what that is, but that was a confirmation. I can tell. That's so funny. Nike. All right, let's see. And also the name Nick, male or female, Nicole, I don't know. Sometimes people and situations come into your life as a kind of change agent that turns your life upside down. What you thought was real and expected is challenged by someone else's perspective or behavior, which you have no control over. This can be painful and deeply confusing, but the creator goddess Shakti wants to offer you her guidance. Can you see how everything that is off balance is serving you now, helping you open old wounds so they can finally be healed? You know that you are seeking this change, this magical metamorphosis, for a better life for you and for your loved ones. Right now, your alignment task is to love the part of yourself that sabotages your efforts to move forward. Love the insecure you, the one that is jealous, the one that sees not enough when the world is truly full of potential. Life loves you. The feminine aspect of the universe and the great goddess herself, all your angels and your guides and helpers, remind you that you came here as a spiritual being to learn to co-create with a new world. All right, Virgo, that's what I got for you. This might be a cross-watcher reading too. I could kind of see that as well. But hey, if the message serves you, take it and run with it. Thanks for tuning in. Please do like the video, guys. That really does help me gain traction on YouTube. It gets the messages out to people who need to hear them and see them. So I would truly appreciate that. Like the video, subscribe, leave a comment if you so desire. I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys. Hello, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot love reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. We're going to read about your person, whoever you're thinking about at this moment. If you don't have a person, this message might not be for you, or it may serve you in the future. So just be open to that. We're going to talk about what your person is feeling, what they're thinking, their goals, their action towards you, if any. But as always, please come into the readings with an open heart and open mind, a desire to learn something and better yourself. The messages that come through don't resonate, feel free to push them aside. You may want to revisit them in the future, but do trust your own intuition above all else. Take only what is meant for you. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. Let's help the Sagittarians get some clarity, some messages about their person. All right, let's do it. So Sagittarius, how's your person showing up in this reading? What's their overall vibe? Too many cards, but let's see. Let's check it out. I'll do it. So, possibly a Scorpio, an ending, moving on, trying to get on without you in their life, but missing you. And then Two of Cups to the Moon. But they're afraid to reach out because I think they have some sort of guilt about what went down or what happened. I don't know if I'm sensing like a mutual ending here. That's possible for some of you. Others of you, this person felt like they had to step away because they didn't feel like they were in a good place to participate in this relationship. And there is an element of self-sabotage and sort of illusions about the self, like feeling less than or feeling like this person isn't. It's almost like feelings of unworthiness that probably manifested as some sort of fight or argument in this relationship or some sort of sticky point. And it feels very, what is a good word for it? It feels very heavy. There's a heavy emotional energy where try as this person might to move on and get over you, it still very much feels like you are in their energy or on their mind at least. And with this card, the Aquarian card, the idea of connectivity and channels, right? That's sort of a very Aquarian thing. Talking with my hands, you can tell I got stuff in Gemini going on. There's something about you guys may still be linked in some way. And maybe that's karmic, maybe that's energetically, maybe you guys still literally are on the same text chain, or I don't know, there's something about you're still linked even if you're not together. Yeah, major upheaval, major changes and transformations. I feel like for most of you, this already took place, and this feels like a separate message, so we are going to read for the rest, but this just kind of came out all together. I do have Pisces, I have Aquarius, and I have Scorpio here too. Possible a child may have been involved here. It's possible that this was a divorce and you guys had children together. But I don't know, it's even the way these are falling, it's like, what do they think about? They think about trying to reconnect, and it's like they think about the good old days with you before things got messy and complicated, before they started getting triggered, before they kind of got into this, error of their ways or whatever. And the thing is, it was fated. It was destiny. It's not like, I don't think they realize they don't have to look back and regret, because ultimately, like, that's what astrology is. And like tarot is very much related to that. It's like the planets come in and they influence our actions, our feelings, our emotions, our desires and whatever. And so something came in that was really forcing this person to kind of look within and do kind of some transformative work on themselves. And so in order to do that, they felt like they had to step away, but it wasn't necessarily a conscious choice. They just felt so overwhelmed that it's like, oh, I got to break away. Like, I don't know how else to handle this, so I'm just going to go. That was all fated and meant to be, but I don't know. I don't know how you feel about this, Sagittarius, but if you're relating to this, I think your person still thinks about you 100%. Whoa. Oh my God, so many cards. Blowing kisses, unconditional love, giving and receiving, fairness and love, affection returned, heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad, feeling lost, grieving, despair, breakup, Coffin, new beginnings, liberation, reborn, and transition, tragic endings. Yeah, interesting. Pisces got this. I just did Pisces, and they had and in fact, I feel like Sag may have come up in their reading. You might be dealing with a Pisces, just saying. And it like ultimately like there was an ending and a what do you call it, reconciliation, which I was like, I don't know if this is a reconciliation, and then that card came out, so just putting it out there, that may have to do with possibly this coming back, with the Scorpio card. As long as the energy is transformed in a healthy way, things can come back together, but it can never be the same as it used to be. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just you both are different people now. You both have changed and hopefully you've grown spiritually and your capacity to love and that sort of thing. So no one is ever perfect, right? Like our one mission in life is to keep growing and evolving and developing. And so if this were to come back together, it's almost like you would have to leave the past in the past, right? Coffin, and almost start with the assumption that you have to get to know this person again. I think that scares the shit out of this person, but I think that's what they want. Addiction, codependent, obsession. Okay, that can be kind of Scorpios type stuff too. Obsession, restraint, possession, control, emotional block. The golden mirror, narcissist, love bombing, self-absorbed, one-sided. Love, unconditional love, self-love, wholeness, affection, attraction, and selflessness. And then soulmate, soul connection, partnership, soul contract, life partner. So yeah, I mean, this runs the gamut, doesn't it? Clearly there were some things going on. Maybe addiction did play a part in it. I can't see that necessarily from the cards, but if the card came out, that probably means it's for someone. So anyway, but with love and soulmates, I don't know. Okay. Sneaking two messages. Yeah, twin flames. It absolutely feels karmic. I have no doubt that it's karmic. We're gonna have to reshuffle those. So just to wrap this message up, because I do want to do the other spread, just it felt like I was called to do that. So is this person going to step up and contact Sagittarius? Spirit with clarity. What can Sagittarius expect from this? Ooh, that came flying out. They're still thinking about it. Twos talk a lot about indecisions and a decision needing to be made, but it's like before the decision can be made, they need to find internal balance so that they know they're operating at a high level. They're not just acting on impulsivity or emotions. I think they are going to move towards you. Look at this, like, I just can't. It's like this is them moving away, right? You have the person in like the yellow hood. And then I think this is them revisiting this. I think this is them coming back. But even like the vibration is totally different. Like here it's like they're sitting, it's like they're lost in their emotion. They're kind of, there's like this, what's a good word for it? There's this contraction. There's like this hiding. There's this like this uncomfortability of like there's this protection of their heart and not wanting to be open and communicate. And here I think it's the opposite. It's like they're upright, they're confident, they know what they want, they're making strides forward. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen in the month of January, but I do see this person trying to come towards you and make some sort of amends. But yeah, it's like they're thinking things through. And this can be a card of transformation in some way, but more like spiritual transformation. And again, the Hangman is inverted because he's seeing things from a different perspective. And that takes time, right? Yeah. But also it's about establishing stability too, and not just being like the dreamer, hopeless romantic. He makes the upside down 4, right? Because 4s are about stability. So if he, she, whoever is going to come towards you, they want to actually have something solid to offer you and make sure that the foundation of what they have to offer is going to deliver the goods, essentially. Zodiac signs for that. Zodiac signs that want to come out. Leo, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. All right, now we're going to do the actual spread. But now I got to shuffle. All right, so new spread. Spirit, can we connect to some new energy, new messages? That felt like it was important and needed to come out. Whatever the group of Sagittarians out there listening, watching, tuning in need to hear, please. So their person, how's their person coming through? The Knight of Wands. Energetic, enthusiasm. Giddy. They're giddy with fun and excitement and they're seeking pleasure and romance. What are they feeling? They're feeling like they want to communicate, but they may have received messages from you that, I don't know. See, this almost looks a little bit somber to me. Let's keep going before I jump too soon here. What are they thinking? What are they communicating? Their perception here. Thank you. Oh, there's that card again. They're not seeing things with clarity, and it has a lot to do with like their own inner fears and again, self-worth issues. They may be worried about what they would have to sacrifice to be in a relationship. And fears of having to sacrifice parts of themselves, But the thing is, what they would be releasing and letting go of, for the most part, it's things that they don't need to carry around anymore. It's like the burden of not feeling good enough. I know this isn't going to make sense, but it's like, in a weird way, that's their safety zone, is to be very guarded and be very closed off. And so by being with you or approaching you or whatever this is, even though I think they want to, they know that it's like, it's going to be very foreign to them. It's going to be very weird. There's going to be like a transitional period where they're still getting comfortable in of what it would feel like for them to be in a relationship with you. And they're doubting that. They're second guessing it. And, it's a learned pattern. It's a learned behavior. So it's easier for them to default into the, no, I'm just going to close up again. But then it's like, when they take an honest look at the situation, it's like they don't like the part of themselves that is closed off, that isn't able to express how they feel. But at the same time, it doesn't feel safe. So they probably weren't raised in an environment where it was okay to speak and talk about emotions and say how you felt. That was probably looked at as, you're being too emotional, blah, 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 like that sort of thing. So they're confused. And yeah, have self-worth issues for sure. I also think they're very worried about time. I don't know if that just has to do with this relationship, but there's almost a timeline that they were living their life by, and they're starting to recognize that, like, things aren't manifesting at the speed or the rate at which they hoped. What they thought they would have by age insert number, they don't, and it's freaking them out. And again, that's like their own limitations and their own need for control, when it's like, maybe that's not what their life is about. Maybe they were trying to accomplish X, Y, and Z by age 30, and it's like, it's not about the timeline, it's about the experience. And it's like they're putting up these unnecessary walls and barricades or unnecessary, I don't know, limitations or whatever, that when they don't meet them, it's like they're setting themselves up for, not failure, but they're setting themselves up for disappointment, right? When, like, the universe is trying to relate to them, like, it's not about that. Like, why are you so hell-bent on this? Like, it's very interesting. What is this person's goals? Goals towards Sagittarius or their life in general? What is this person's goals? Whoa, whoa, whoa. They got a lot of them. Yeah, to kick their shadow side, to kick their inner demons, to kick that side of them that is very back and forth, their own doubts. Their natural instinct to close off and block people out or detach from people and push them away. Honestly, I see right through this. And this is no shade to your person. Like, so many people do this. When they do that, they're not even understanding that is them testing the waters to see if this person is the game changer who actually doesn't take them at their word to go and walk away, to be pushed away and drop them. Because ultimately what they want is they want that person to prove them wrong, that they are lovable. I'm not putting this in a very eloquent way, but I hope you understand what I mean. But here's the thing with that method, this person, that's not a healthy way to approach this, obviously, for so many reasons. But when you're in a healthy relationship, you can only operate on what you're being told. Most of us aren't psychic. Most of us can't read our people's minds. And even if we can, it's not up to us to decipher what's going on internally. This person needs to speak up and learn to communicate and communicate honestly, with integrity, and open up about what they're thinking so that their person can follow suit or show up in the way that the other person needs as best they can, right? But and so this person plays games, but not in a malicious, immature way. Only in a way that they don't fully understand the psychology behind what they're doing. When they meet people and they close up and push people away, their inner child is desperately hoping that person who they're pushing away is going to be like, no, I'm not going anywhere. I love you and I'm always going to be with you. And that would blow them away. That's what they're hoping for. But unfortunately, they're dealing with people, not unfortunately, they're dealing with people who have been taking them at their word. So when your person is like, hey, Sag, I need some space. I can't be in a relationship, yada, yada, yada. You're like, well, shit, that sucks. Okay, nice meeting you. And they're like, no. It's like they self-sabotage. Their goal is to not do that anymore. But it's a challenge. This person so desperately wants to receive the love they deserve, but I'm not sure that they totally believe that they deserve love. Ooh, this is a deep one, Sag. This is a deep one. But the fact that the energy is showing up in the cards and it's sort of allowing me to tap into it and allowing you to see it, I think it means that there is hope for some major changes, some major shifts to come out here. So here's what I think. I think this person is hoping that you reach out to them. Just putting it out there. I know that's not what all of you want to hear, but will this person take any action towards Sagittarius? Will this person take any action towards Sagittarius? They got some inner demons to slay, for sure. For sure. Will this person take action towards Sagittarius? Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so I actually love this card. It shows that there's potential here, but there's a little bit of work to be done before this can be made into an offer of any kind. And it's quite literally, it's like a seed, right? But it's sort of being swallowed up or constricted by these roots, by these vines, by these, almost like our DNA, like our history, our roots, our legacy, our innate beliefs about ourselves. I know this is a bit of a stretch, but hang with me. So it's like what needs to go through that in order to release this coin and make it presentable is like, we need a sword. We got to be able to like cut through some of that and get rid of the excess and stuff we don't need. These long held beliefs about ourselves, our lack of self-love, our lack of self-worth, not seeing that we are of value, that we have something to offer. This person absolutely has something to offer. And the thing is, they do know that, but they love to talk themselves out of it. Like this, I'm going to say it, part of this feels very Gemini, where they contradict themselves constantly, or even maybe Aquarian, or something about the air sign, because air signs have that duality. The air signs need the back and forth, only the back and forth is going on internally, and it's like, it's bringing up their worst fears. I wouldn't be surprised if the devil came out at some point, because it feels very like shadow side energy that is controlling their entire life, but it exists within them. So the minute they start to shine light on the darkness and understand what's going on, it's going to be liberating. Eight of Wands. It's going to be life changing. They're going to get their groove back. They're going to have a new lease on life. And so maybe that's why this is coming through. Maybe your person is in the process of doing that soul work. This very much seems to me, and I don't mean this in a demeaning way, this feels like a really good candidate for someone who could thrive in therapy, or having some sort of session where they're able to talk through what's going on the inside and having some sort of like objective, non-biased look at it, where someone can kind of, I'm wanting to say like come at them, but contradict sort of these things, or really ask them deeper questions. Well, why do you think you do that? Or you know what I mean? Like they need to be a little bit more analytical about especially the things they tell themselves. I almost see this as their heart. It's like their heart has some mending to do. We gotta declutter and open up that heart chakra so that they can fully love again. But that starts with self. So it's tricky. It's not a huge action card, but again, the potential is there. This is a fantastic action card. So because this is a Sagittarius card, I'm wondering, you could be dealing with another Sagittarius. But I just get, especially the way the feeling element is like, what are they feeling? I think they are longing to receive communication from you. Or this also feels like someone who's written like that strategy, that psychology where someone is like writes an apology letter to someone they love, or really writes a letter of forgiveness to someone who's never going to apologize to them. I'm not saying that's what this is, but it feels like this person may have done some cathartic writing, and in that maybe they're questioning, well, should I actually send it to Sag? Almost like an apology for not being able to show up for you the way they had hoped they would. I think they still have hope that this could come together. But realistically, are they in a really good place to do it right now? No, they still got some stuff to work through, but props to them for it's on their goals. Hopefully they're actively making strides towards it. I think they are with the pentacles and the goals. I like that. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, they're kind of in the assessment mode. I again, looking at themselves in a more analytical, non-judgmental, non-critical way. Really what this person needs is just to like love themselves. I know. It's a little bit cheesy, but it's so true. It's so true. Will Sagittarius hear from this person? No, they're waiting for you to reach out. This is quite literally your card. This is Temperance, and do you see how the Temperance hand is extended? Yeah, if you love this person, reach out to them. You have nothing to lose. You're not going to screw up their day by reaching out, but I will say you do need to cater your expectations, or there's a better word, you guys know what I mean. You need to have realistic expectations of you reaching out isn't going to suddenly make this all better again. I think it actually will serve as a good motivation, a good catalyst, a good encouragement for this person on their path right now, because it's almost like they see the reward at the end. It's like, if I can do this work on myself and get to a place where I'm operating at a higher level, where I'm loving myself, I'm honoring my self-worth and value, then like maybe someday I can get back with my Sag and be able to participate in a healthy relationship. They're still in the thick of it though, for sure. But I almost see this as sending your person a message. It would feel very like synchronistic. It would feel like because I just get the sense they're already doing the work. And so by receiving a message, it's almost like a confirmation to them that they're on the right path, whether this comes together or not. They want to be their fun, giddy, happy self again. And the thing is, you may not know this kind of like world of turmoil that was going on inside of them even when you guys were together. I'm assuming you know who this is. And honestly, Sag, I'm going to say this. I'm reading for love. This could be someone in your life who is non-romantic. Like this could be a family member or a best friend that maybe you had a falling out with, or you're just worried about them. Like it could be multiple people in your life. That frequently happens in tarot and in astrology for that matter. But yeah, it's like this person wants to return to that kind of blissful, childlike innocence, the world is my oyster, but they were hit with some, like this person's going through like a Pluto transit or something like that, or Chiron or something that really, Saturn brings you down to your knees and you're just like, oh my God, what is happening? But it's all for the better. This is a card of healing ultimately too. So, if this doesn't represent you reaching out, maybe you're past the point where you want to do that. This person's action is self-healing right now. Something about lilies is important here too. Maybe that's a name, Lily, I don't know. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. And then honeymoon, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Maybe this is someone who you decided to be friends, right? It could be kind of like a just friends situation, even though maybe there was some chemistry or flirtation before. Maybe you guys had a falling out, but you were able to repair it enough to the point where you're able to see them, or I don't know, but I don't know. For some of you, this person is still in your energy. I was getting that with like the linking. There's something about this person. They're still kind of around you, but maybe it's just an energy thing. Maybe you guys are soulmates. Maybe you were together in another life. And then let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. Absolutely. If you feel so inclined, reach out to this person, but again, cater or temper your expectations in terms of what you're going to get back. Because for some of you, you might not hear back immediately. I almost think this person takes your words in very deeply and needs to process and think about what to say or if they're ready to respond. But I think it would warm their heart. I think it would touch their heart. The chaser, fear of abandonment, chasing, and codependencies. So make sure that's not you though, right? Just putting it out there. Cut down, cutting out, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment. I don't know, maybe you guys aren't talking. I have no idea. And then sunglasses, watching, looking, perception, stalking. Yeah, I have a feeling this is mutual. I think you both kind of keep tabs on each other. If I'm being honest, Sag, I think you keep tabs on this person more, which is not to say it's not mutual, but it's like, this is the type of person who like, they can't do social media because it instantly just like tears them down. It instantly like cuts them down because of their own lack of like self-belief in terms of, it's like they're seeing everybody around them succeed and it makes them be swallowed up even more by that like pit of darkness. And like, yeah, this person probably had to disconnect in a way. Maybe they have social, but it's like, I don't think they're actively using it. But I mean, if you're watching this reading, you probably know who this is. I'm going to guess the majority of you. So maybe you check them out. Maybe you check out their social media. And then butterfly, evolving growth, next phase, healing the inner child, releasing the past. Oh, I love that. I love that. And then breathe, slow down, and contemplate the tea. Violets and ivy tangled around the eaves. Wish my camera would focus. Sagittarius, this was a kick-ass reading. It's just like, meaning that like it felt deep. Like I felt very connected to this reading, so I like it. I like it a lot. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for your person, but let's see. So zodiac signs, you have Taurus, you have Cancer, you have Aquarius, and you have Aries. feels karmic. It feels karmic no matter what happens. I think this situationship, whatever it was, I think it was meant to happen, and it both kind of, I always want to use that term. There's a better term than ricochet, but there was like a bounce back of you guys having impact. That's a good word for it. You both had a great impact on each other, whether you know it or not. And it kind of changed your trajectory in a way that it needed to be changed. Like this person changed the course of your destiny, even in a very small way. All right, Isis, rebirth. That's the goddess oracle that's coming out for Sagittarius. We're going to read a little bit about it, and we'll wrap this baby up. You got 2 readings, Sagittarius. That's all right. I don't mind. You guys know I love Sagittarius. I gotta love Sag. All right, let's see. The goddess Isis, with her powers of reincarnation, has a message for you. You are not broken. You are not wounded beyond healing, and opportunities are not necessarily lost forever. Your insistence on defining yourself by your losses and wound stories are not serving you now. Your alignment task is to fully accept things as they are, choose to find a way to put the pieces back together, let die what doesn't serve you, and focus on what works. There is so much goddess to come from this situation, even if in the moment you feel trapped. The goddess Isis wants only the best for you. As your fierce ally, she will challenge you when you go off track. So pick up the pieces, tell a new story, and find home again. You will be amazed at how beautiful things come together when you reject the trap created by the stories you tell yourself. Absolutely, that's this. You have the key, so use it. Ooh, this is deep. This is real deep. I love it. The soul work. Yeah, interesting. Something about not defining yourself by your wounds or by your tragedies. That feels very relevant. Like, I almost want to underscore that. They've made you who you are, but you don't have to wear them on your sleeve of like, your identity is not forged around you being a victim. And maybe I'm speaking to your person, maybe I'm speaking to the cross watcher, but that's like a really, oof, I feel that. That's an important message. You're not broken. You never were broken. Yeah, you're going through a, dark night of the soul, but ultimately what's going to lead to a major change or transformation. So, or your person is. Sagittarius, that's what I got for you. Thanks for joining me today. Love you guys. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye. Hello, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to my tarot channel. We're going to do your love reading here today about your person, what they are feeling, what they're thinking, their goals, and their possible actions towards you, if any. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind. A desire to learn something and better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate, please do push them aside. Only take what is meant for you. Trust your intuition above all else. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is an energy check-in, optional advice, and guidance. That being said, let's set the intention to get Pisces some clear, helpful, insightful messages about where their person is at, the person on their mind. Pisces, if you don't currently have a person, this message might not be for you right now, but it might serve you well in the future. So do with it as you like. For Pisces, how's their person coming through? For Pisces. All right, I believe that's the King of Swords in this deck. We're using Triple Goddess Tarot. They're feeling maybe a little defensive. Let's see. Love it. The Sun. All right, we'll take it in reverse. Why not? Okay. So bottom of the deck is Six of Swords. It's like forward movement. I feel like you or your person. I mean, I'm reading for your person, but moving from a dark space, knowing that the light is ahead, and they do indeed have the Sun card coming up through in their thoughts, their mind, their communication. So it's almost like the changing of a guard or the turning of a page. Something, the next chapter is up ahead. Any six in tarot is about progress. They're like small wins and victories. So especially on a mental plane, right? If something was psychologically holding them back or they were timid to communicate, it feels like they're making strides forward. We'll see if that comes true here in this reading. So how are they showing up? Master communicator, King of Swords, right? Someone who speaks the truth, despite the fact that it may ruffle some feathers. They speak the truth because it is right, because it's the correct thing to do. And it's not always the most gentle way of phrasing it, but it does ultimately come from a place of one's inner truth, right? So yeah, if your person hasn't been a good communicator or hasn't been stepping up to have a difficult conversation with you, it feels like that's the energy coming in. But I actually like this. It doesn't feel like a super defensive King of Swords. And again, gender's not a thing here. In Triple Goddess Tarot, I think they're all women. But yeah, there's like an openness. Do you see how the hand is? So there's something that's kind of being spoken, very, very truthful, very poignant, very loud and proud, if you will. But the hand also suggests that there's like a receptiveness about, and what do you think? Like I'm going to say my thing, but I'm also curious to hear what you have to say. So I think someone's opening up the channels of communication, or they're just becoming more self-aware. I do actually really like that card. And then in terms of what they're feeling, interesting, they have the Nine of Wands. So typically Nine of Wands is Moon in Sagittarius. Sometimes this can be a defense mechanism, and especially in the feeling sector, it's almost like they're wanting to protect their heart. This person, like many, probably doesn't love being super vulnerable. But if you're with a Pisces, come on, that's like part of the territory, right? You got to speak the emotions. You got to speak the water in your chart. With this Nine of Wands, I almost think that it is, I don't know why I'm getting this because it is coming up in the feeling sector, but something about Moon in Sagittarius to me speaks about our innate nature, our inner desire, our natural comfort zone to maybe bust out of a holding pattern. And it's almost like the need or want or desire, the feeling that we need to explore a little bit more here. So it could be that someone, especially with the cards coming through, maybe was giving you mixed messages. Maybe it started off like, chatty and good and sharing, and then they kind of pulled back and withdrew a little bit. Honestly, what I get from this is what they're feeling is like, I think there's a feeling to explore more with you, or they desire more with you, but they themselves are the one who was sort of blocking that connection a little bit because, it was maybe an uncharted territory being with someone who was so open and compassionate. Maybe they've only been with people who reinforce the idea that, emotions are scary, emotions are not good, we need to swallow those and not talk about them. Where this person feels like maybe this is the right match to maybe be able to let my guard down a little bit more. I actually do like this Nine of Wands. I think it's a very unusual depiction of it. I mean, obviously the imagery is similar, but it's not that person who's standing at attention. It's not that wounded warrior who's super, guarded and sort of bracing themselves for what's to come. This feels very like, okay, if I tend to the garden, good things are going to grow from this. And that's really what I get from this. I think there's a desire to grow and explore more. I assume with you, right? But for some of you, education may be taking I don't know why I'm saying that, but education may be a priority in their life right now, whether they are a teacher or going back to school or taking a course or trying to create their own course. Something about studying, education, and classes, courses, something about that may also be something that they're feeling they need to tend to in order to free themselves up, or in order to essentially work on their goals while they're in this relationship. So I'm just putting that out there. In terms of what they're communicating, I think they're communicating joy and happiness, feeling elated, feeling a sense of freedom. They may be speaking to you about someone in their life. I mean this in a positive way. It's not someone you're being pitted up against, but they may speak to you about a Leo. And maybe I don't need to get too specific about that, but I don't know if it's a child, if it's a mother, if it's a grandfather, if it's an ex, if it's a sister, if it's a brother. Like, it doesn't really matter because it's a very strong card. So it's coming through as this person may share some sort of intimate story with you about someone. Maybe it's their childhood best friend. And I don't know why that's relevant, but it's a very lovely, freeing, joyful story. And I think it makes you guys closer. But I think essentially what this person is communicating to you is like, I want to work on myself to be more open and vulnerable because it feels so good when I'm with you. I don't want my BS to get in the way of us being happy. Really, the Sun card, it's one of the best cards you can get in tarot. I love that. I absolutely love that. And maybe this has to do with growth, right? The Sun card is a huge card of growth and expansion, as is, I think, what this is as well. So maybe there's conversation about where you guys are headed in the future. Maybe you've just been kind of casually dating, or maybe you've been living together, or maybe you're talking about having children or getting married. Like, there could be some big milestones ahead where this person is ready to open up the floor of discussion to be like, I want this relationship to grow. So that's what I mean. It's like, here's what I have to say. What do you think? There's a nice little back and forth there. So then in terms of their goals, yeah, I actually love that this is coming up. It's like they're wanting to put down the BS. Something that they've been holding on to for a long time that is actually making this relationship harder and more work, when they realize it might not be as simple as this, but more or less, we can let some of that go. We don't always have to be the hero. We don't have to do 10,000 things at once. This is usually a Saturn card, right? So sometimes it's this idea that, yeah, sometimes you have to go through some difficult challenges in order to get to where you want to be. But with this, it's almost like this person has changed their trajectory in terms of where they want to go. And very likely that has to do with you. And it has nothing to do with abandoning their dreams and goals and desires. It's almost like they committed themselves to this life of solitude, or just this mindset of, well, my life is always going to be this way, so what's the point? So, I may as well do X, Y, and Z because nothing ever changes. Here it's like they see a new horizon. Do you see them looking ahead? And it's like all this stuff, this energy, this maybe toxicity, I don't know, whatever it is that I've been carrying around. It's like, oh, maybe I didn't need it. Maybe it doesn't have to be this hard. Maybe just by opening up, I can kind of feel this sense of elation and not be so stuck in my head, or not be so overburdened by things. It's like I don't have to fight this fight alone. Like I have someone who's backing me up and by my side. I like that. There's a releasing and letting go of long-held habits, beliefs, things that essentially weren't aligning this person to their ultimate destiny. I think there's a sense of like, yeah, it's like someone's on my team. Someone's rooting for me. These two cards feel so happy. It's like this person seems like they're at a turning point where they're willing to consider that maybe things are working out exactly as they're supposed to be. But I think with that, there's this recognition that they're getting something they never thought they would get because they raised their vibration, right? And I'm not saying that's because of you entirely, but I do think it's possible that, you're ruled by Jupiter, right? That's kind of a everything is possible sign. It's possible that your influence kind of helped them to see more potential in themselves, in their life. I'm sort of getting this metaphor of like the clouds parting a little bit and they're able to see things with more clarity in terms of not only what they want in the future, but that it actually seems more achievable. And I always think I want to remind people, like, we can't rely entirely on external validation. I mean, ideally, none at all, but that's not realistic, right? It's always going to feel good to get a compliment. But I think people who are truly on like a higher spiritual plane or path, love me or hate me, like I'm good because I'm centered. And I think this person you're dealing with was maybe swinging in a more negative self-talk. And so by meeting you, there was almost like this nice little ricochet where you kind of bounce them back into seeing their own beauty, seeing their own worth, their own desirability. And so they're starting to see it in themselves, and it's making them feel like they're invincible. I absolutely love that. And I guess I'm trying to note, I think it is partly because of your influence. So whether this works out or not, this was absolutely karmic. You've already served this person in ways that I don't think you even realize. It's been a very profound connection for them. But I mean, honestly, do I see this going places? Yeah, your cards are very, very strong. And in terms of their action towards you, something more is starting to grow here. The Empress. It's a card of divine Venus, right? Divine love. It's motherhood, it's nurturing, it's maternal, but it's mature, right? The Empress is always shown pregnant, so I would offer that you should take that into consideration in terms of a metaphor. It's like something shared between you guys is starting to grow and come into fruition here, but it is going to send you down a new path. It's a new trajectory. It's a new chapter. So it's going to be a chapter filled with love, right? But with that, there will be new challenges simply because you're being met with new energies. This looks lovely though. I really, really like it. I'm trying to get anything else for you. I don't know, something to do with luck, like this person feels like they got a lucky break, but the thing is they've earned it. Maybe they haven't had the easiest go at it in life, right? Maybe they have some family stuff, and I mean, honestly, who doesn't, right? Everybody's got family stuff, childhood trauma, all the things, right? For the most part. But yeah, I think this person is starting to open up and embrace this lifestyle, this chapter with you, and I think that's only going to grow. It's possible you may be making plans to go on a mini weekend trip, a vacation. I don't know if this is a reconciliation, Pisces, because to be honest, it feels like you guys are already together, which is not usually always the case when I do these. Usually the energy is like, I haven't heard from my person, like what's going on with them? I'm not saying this couldn't be a reconciliation. I mean, sometimes the Three of Cups can be that, but honestly, this feels like someone you're already connected to and speaking with. And I'm not going to put limitations on it. If this feels like your story and it fits, by all means, manifest it. If it's coming out in the cards, the energy is available to you. But yeah, this feels like something you already knew. It's like your intuition was like this. There's potential here. I feel like I'm questioning it a little bit because maybe there is this element of like, is this too good to be true? Like maybe both of your stories have been connections with people who just, not to say they didn't serve you, again, karmic partnership, but not something where you truly felt like alive, where you could totally be yourself and you didn't have sort of that guardedness. So this may be a new chapter in love for both of you. All right, romance angels. This is beautiful, Pisces. Good for you. Well deserved. My beautiful Pisces gang. Romance angels, anything that wants to come out for Pisces reading, anything that would be helpful for them to hear. That came right out. Oh, that's so funny. I just said, I don't know if this is a reconciliation. Spirit's checking me real hard there. All right, so reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. That's so funny. Anything else? Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Oh my God, Pisces, stop it. And the wedding, the situation involves marriage. Aw, good for you. I'm so happy. I love when there's happy readings. I mean, ultimately, I'm here to serve the messages and hopefully guide people where they need to be, but this feels really good. I love being in this energy. Anything else for Pisces? Is there something else we can tell them? Confirmations? Let's see. Passion, insane chemistry, sparks, and having fun, equal interest, burning desire. Hell yeah. I'm going to have to check in with my Pisces friends and be like, what's up? Did you see the latest reading? It's so good. One more card for Pisces. Let's see. And then coffin, new beginnings, liberation, love it, reborn, transitions. And then it says tragic endings. Interesting. I'm not sure that that has to do with this relationship, or, you know, if it truly is a reconciliation, maybe it was a tragic ending because there was a mutual sense of like, oh, like we want to be together, but it's just not happening. Again, if that's the case, it's reconciliation. I also think when this card comes out too, it's the idea of transitioning from one like stage of life to another, or one chapter or one cycle. But, you know, very likely in connections that like really serve us and have that deep bond, somebody or both people have gone through like, you know, some major event in their life or circumstance where maybe they did lose someone tremendously close to them. And this was the person who kind of came to your aid to see you through that difficult time. That's what this could mean as well too. And I know you guys know this, you know, I never predict death. That's not what I'm asked to do. But some of you flat out know, like when you lost your grandfather or whatever, maybe you had just connected with this person and it was like, you know, it was awkward timing, but in some ways that wouldn't surprise me because it's like when major life circumstances happen, it doesn't always happen in this neat, pretty bow where it happens just in one category or one area in our life. It trickles over into others. So sometimes we're met with insane, you know, deeply felt tragedy or loss, but at the same time, we're also feeling this insane, deeply felt chemistry with like a new person. Do you understand what I mean? Like it's... There's somehow balance in the universe where things don't always happen just in one specific area. It's like, no, it's energy. It's spread out. It's not always contained. So anyway. All right, zodiac signs that want to come out in this reading for Pisces. Zodiac signs. Gemini, Virgo, Aries, and Libra. And then we'll get you one of these. Whoops. Right out. Transform. Rise above any situation and become the best version of yourself. Love it. All right, and last but not least, for the Pisces specifically, Goddess Oracle card. What Goddess Spirit is guiding them or energy they can tap into at this time. Let's see, for Pisces. Pisces. Leizi? I don't know how to say that. Revelation. Leizi. Leizi. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Well, let's find out together. 28. 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay. Sometimes life throws you a curveball and it feels like you've been hit by lightning. Perhaps a romantic partner betrays you suddenly, an illness strikes someone close to you, a job you expected fell through, the new employee turned out to be a dud, or you get a huge tax bill. No matter what the subject, your task is to pivot and course correct according to the needs of the event. Even if you don't understand what's happening, don't second guess yourself. Some things are not meant to be predictable, and detours may be exactly what you need. Loss or bad news aren't the only options in this situation. You may have just been offered something you've always wanted, such as a proposal from a former lover, a better job, or a chance to move. Your tendency might be to try and control the circumstance or worry that you may not be prepared for the challenge. Goddess Leizi reminds you that the great goddess will never give you more than you can handle. Your alignment task is to surrender to whatever is in front of you. You can do this. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Pisces, this was incredible. I hope you take this energy, take advantage of it. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, especially liking the video, guys, or leaving a comment. That really helps these videos and this channel gain traction so these messages can get out to everybody who needs to hear them. So I would appreciate that. I will see you soon. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, guys.